Jeremy from Trading Safely, just doing a weekly update on the major markets. So we'll have a look at metals, indexes, bonds and currencies. Overnight, a big move up in gold, probably off the back of North Korea, but technically it's been rejected from our quarterly closing resistance there at 1324.7. That also lines up with our quarterly bullish pivot and our monthly bullish pivot there at 13.15. So with a couple of days to go, waiting to see if we can close above that monthly pivot, and certainly if it doesn't, that's probably fair warning that gold's putting in a short-term high. So overnight we were fairly and squarely rejected from this 1330 zone, and we're back here testing that monthly bullish pivot. So I'll be waiting to see if that does actually hold there. More broadly speaking, however, when you look at the big picture for gold, it is certainly starting to firm up longer term. This orange line down here is a yearly level and it's rising. Similarly here we have a quarterly time frame level that's rising, and now a monthly time frame that's rising. So longer term, you'd have to say gold is starting to rotate around. Personally, I'd like to see gold put in a shakeout low first, but let's just see what happens coming into the end of this month and whether we can close above this monthly bullish pivot. For the week, this week, we're currently above the weekly bullish pivot there at 1309 as well. So gold is still in a strong position, but I'm very keen to see where we close the month in relation to this 1315 level. Moving on to silver, that's going to tell a reasonably similar story. Silver was actually retraced back to last year's midpoint at 1747 and has also had a bit of a spike high overnight, and doing the same thing really. It's trying to test out that monthly bullish pivot there at 1760. You can see the bearish down here. Similar story, this brown level here that's rising, that's a quarterly level, and now a rising monthly level. And if I go back, we'll see where the yearly is. Yeah, there's so much the same as gold. Long-term bullish story there in silver, and particularly above this 1850 area. If I add in some yearly levels, there we go. Above here, 1850.05 at the end of the year, then silver can really motor. In the short term, you've got support here at 1711. That's weekly support. So really for silver now, we've had this rising monthly support here, well supported at 1662, and the opposite target in time at the monthly level is up there at 1832. However, let's just see if we can close above 1760 at the end of this month, as that would be a bullish signal at the monthly time frame. There is still a hint of potential downside down here. These studies at the bottom here this first study is tracking uptrends across time. So we're looking at day, week, and intraday, so half day, 240 minute, and we're aggregating all the time frames together so that we can see how many time frames are trending. And so with silver at the moment, if I look at the uptrends, I can see that we've got a weekly count of 1 and a daily count of 5, a half day count of 2, and a 240 minute count of 2. And then when I come down to the downtrends at the bottom, I can see we've still got a weekly downtrend of 2. So there is still some evidence of longer term weakness down on this bottom study. So just need to be careful about silver up here. And if we get any resistance moving to the top, then watch out for a move down. But certainly at the moment, while we're above this 1711 level here, the weekly level, for anyone who's not watched this before, all the colours represent a different time frame. So green's daily, yellow's weekly, anything pink is monthly, brown's quarterly, that blue level's semi-annual, and anything orange is annual. So we're supported at the weekly level at the moment at 1711, and we have a rising monthly support down here at 1662, which should hold this month. Copper continues to power. It's got rising quarterly support, so there's long-term support for copper, and it's been making its way to that equal an opposite quarterly level, which is a fair way higher. There it is up there, 339. So when we look at the structure of copper, I can see this rising orange line. That's rising yearly support. Where's the quarterly? Quarterlies. Okay, so yeah, if I come back here, you can see that brown level, that quarterly level has dropped under price. So that means it's acting as support. So we've got a rising yearly level, and you can see also we've got rising monthly levels, and that's what's been projecting copper forward. So in the short term, you know, we're up at semi-annual resistance at the moment, but what's notable is that even at the weekly time frame, so this yellow line here, it hasn't moved above price to create resistance. So that leaves this move up to here still open, which is the opposite quarterly closing rotational level. So still bullish there. There's no evidence of any weaknesses yet. Just might flick over to oil. Oil is testing a key monthly level at 46.33, and we need to see that level hold at the end of the month for it to then move up and test higher. Just bear with me, folks. Just going to check the settings here. Okay, so yeah, so oil so far has held this bearish pivot here at 45.88, and if it can do that and not close under that 45.88 level, then there's no reason why we can't be moving back up here to test some of these higher levels. So for me, that's the key level at the moment, 45.88, and I'm watching for that. If I look below, however, there is still quite some signs of multiple time frames indicating downtrend and not much happening in the upside. So is a bit of an early warning that oil's got some work to do at this 45, well 46 level really. But if we can hang on to it and avoid closing under this and avoid closing under the weekly bearish there at 46.49, then I think we can retest sort of around the 50, around this zone here, 50. What else can we look at? Might just flick over to equities. So let's have a look at Dow futures. Dow futures, the last few days has been testing the monthly close at 21,861, and again testing it today. So we had this important rising weekly support here at 21,698, and we've held that today. However, we're still under daily resistance up there at around 21,900. So 21,900 is a short-term key level. If we start closing over that on a daily basis, then you're possibly opening up a retest of this weekly closing level at 22,018. Interesting when you look at just the short term this week. So this pink line here is last month's close. We've had quite a few cracks at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now. So the market is in a choppy sideways period at the moment, and typically when you see that and you're coming into the end of the month, it's really got to do with time when you see this sideways behavior. So you can probably expect that in the new month you'll actually get the breakout move from this congestion. But this was a critical level to hold, and certainly if that had given way overnight, then we'd be much lower on the Dow, potentially down here trading at this 21,322 level, which is last quarter's close. So at the moment, the next months, keep an eye on this level here, 21,861. That is the key level that needs to hold for September if we are putting in a top at the monthly time frame. And interestingly enough, we haven't put in a monthly top. I have to go back a long way. Actually, the last time that happened, yeah, was here. So that's October 16 was the last time we actually had a monthly resistance created. So we are in the process of testing whether we are going to put in a monthly top. So just keep an eye out for 21,861 over September. And if we close September under 21,861, you can bet your bottom dollar that we'll be testing lower in the Dow, and vice versa. If we take it out on the upside, we'll be breaking out to new highs and heading off to the next targets up here at 22,341. S&P, basically the same story, just different levels, but on a rotational basis, similar story. It's trying to put in a monthly turning point and hasn't done that for a very long time as well. Yeah, almost structurally the same setup as the Dow. So in the short term, there's resistance up here at 24.52, and a daily close over that's probably going to open up a retest of 24.70. Conversely, if this 24.25 gives way, then you're looking at there's levels down here around 2400, and then the monthly bearish support at 23.82. What else can we look at? So that's oil indexes. Let's have a look at some of the currencies. Euro hit its monthly bullish pivot overnight and really needs to hang on to this 119.90 area on a closing basis this week to warrant the next leg higher. So right there, we've been mentioning this target a few times in the videos this week, and we've finally hit it overnight. Quite a lot of uptrends still in place and not much on the downside. This is really interesting here because this is the lower support level. Now notice how the support level's pushed up rather than the resistance, and that's what's projected this market up higher. So this cross, however, is a warning sign. So because it's an initial indication that the trend might be tiring. But when this upper resistance line happens to push up, it's going to cross this yellow line here, and we're going to get another crossover just like we have here. And when that happens, that's fair warning that you might have a major top in place for the euro. So I'm very keen to watch for the next crossover. Be careful with the euro from here on in. Don't forget that the euro is in a massive downtrend longer term, and the downtrend level is right there, 129. It could spike up there if it wanted to, and just but from there, don't forget that it can go all the way back down and start making new lows back under 100. So and that's the one I'm looking for, is to get on the short side and trade with the longer term trend, which is still clearly down despite this voracious move higher at the moment. Obviously the dollar index is the opposite of that. It's trying to find the bottom as well, so be careful from here on in from the long side. I think from what I can tell, we're not too far away from some sort of rotation in the dollar index as well, coming down to some really major levels. But having said that, yeah, we can still get like a bit of a gap. So there is still a few cents left in the tank if the dollar wants to put in a nasty move down. Can go down to this 89.70 level even. But right now it's held this quarterly support there at 91.88 overnight, and held our monthly bearish pivot to the tick at 91.55. So what we're really looking for now is one of these weekly qualified levels here to drop under price and create support so that the market can trade higher. But that still has not happened, so therefore don't try and be buying it. So we just need some more evidence there. Now, a lot of the other pairs are telling similar stories. If you have a look at pound US dollars trying to put in a monthly turning point next month, and the key level to watch there is it's 132. Hang on a sec. Let me have a look here. Just let me add a study, folks. Okay, there it is there, 132.16. Pound. If pound holds that at the end of next month, then it's making it a monthly turning point and heading lower, and that will force this pink line here to move up above price and create resistance. Actually, similarly, it looks like we're also trying to create a quarterly turning point as well at 130.25. So if we're at the end of the year, if we're under 130, then there's a major high in place, and looks like the longer term trend for pound will continue down. Aussie dollar, US dollar tested weekly resistance at 0.7989, and we mentioned that a few times in our group. in our online community. So we held that critical support there, the weekly closing support 0.7894, and overnight we failed at our weekly bullish pivot and our weekly rotational resistance. Aussie's doing the same thing as pound next month. It's trying to put in a monthly turning point, so watch out for 0.8005 at the end of September. If that holds, then this monthly level here will move up, create resistance, and drag the Aussie down. Conversely, if we take that out, then the Aussie is heading up to 81.65, and then the next target's up to around 0.88. 0.8865 as well. So similar story there. CAD US dollar is the same, telling the same story. And finally, let's have a quick look at bonds. Bonds, the long-term downtrend is the long-term trend is clearly down. There is absolutely no doubt about that. It's just putting on a correctional squeeze because we dropped so hard last year. This is 30-year T-bonds. I might even just show you the yearly chart just so everyone's clear. There is a yearly sell signal in play on bonds. And on that basis, we are looking to add to shorts. So there's the yearly sell signal. Here's the major support that we've held this year at 147. It's a bit of a car crash under there, but we are coming up to our bullish, our first up yearly bullish pivot, which is an excellent place to get short. So 158, that is the sell zone, and I'll be looking for, if we come back to a daily chart, you can see already we're starting to struggle up here at this sort of 158 level. So definitely looking to get short around here. I would like to see resistance created, so I'd like to see some of these levels here at 154 and 155, the weekly and the monthly levels, push up above price and create resistance like this, and then that can allow bonds to move. So there is potential for it to squeeze all the way up to this 160 zone. That would be an excellent place to sell it as well. So just waiting for evidence of a reversal of trend. It hasn't happened yet. You know, we want to see something like this. See how the weekly level moves above price, and that creates room for it to fall. Well, that hasn't happened yet, so no point selling it. All right, thanks everyone. Don't forget, you can get all these updates on our Slack site. We have a community here where we update everything 24/7, and it'd be great if you want to jump onto a free trial. Then just you'll see the links if you look on the My Trading Buddy site. So hope all that helps, and we'll chat to you next week.